Price, the defensive coordinator for the Campbell County Cougars. All right, all right, Coach Price, this is what we did. We took all the pressure off your brother, and we're going to put all the pressure on you.
What's that?
Okay.
Guaranteeing wins up here?
Yes, we are.
Do that?
Hey, we picked you to go 8-2. He picked you to go 9-1, and they say defense wins championships.
I'm really excited about our defense. I will say that. I know that for sure. And based on the spring, what we got coming back from last year, then the additions of not only the guys we got last year, but like a Dylan Presnell, a guy that just kind of showed up on our front door out of nowhere, 6'4", 240. You know, that's really going to help our defensive line. You know, last year we were in some situations where we had to put some linebackers up front, you know, and it just wasn't the best thing for us at the time. But now we actually got some size up there as far as, you know, then Christian Monday's a big kid, about 6'4", 300 pounds, you know, and just get those guys in shape. You know, I think we should be fine definitely against the run. Our linebackers and Slate Allen and Nick Bailey and Ethan Simpson right there, you know, I think, you know, guys play a lot of football, Chris Schaus, Andrew Reyes, I mean, a lot of size, and, you know, everybody saw us at the South Bill scrimmage this spring knows that their offense line is going back 90% of the time, so I'm excited about them.
Coach, we noticed something in the interviews as we've been interviewing the other players. Most of the other, like the offensive players, the receivers and such, you know, they were making their own predictions of, you know, 8-2, you know, 7-3, things like that. But we noticed that the linebackers all said 15-0. Now, is that an indication of something that you instilled in them? Or
hey, I don't know. I know when we do these circuits, the coaches, we like the DB coach that linebackers, and always like, man, I love getting that linebacker group in there. And I don't know if it's coaching or if it's the type of kids we got, but the expectations, just the way they come to work every day, you know, you talk about that blue-collar attitude of, you know, if you want something, you got to work for it. And those guys, I mean, I can't get the drill set up fast enough for them. They're ready to go. And, you know, a lot of times every day I had something to go to and look down there, and our linebackers leading the drills. No coach down there. And that's what you want. And, you know, linebacker on defense is kind of like the quarterback on offense. Those are the leaders. They got to know the coverages. They got to know the fronts. They got to know the blitzes. You know, and I love that mentality about that group. And I think they're going to be what gets us to the next level.
Well, I think it's a direct reflection of their coach. They take on your attitude. And I've seen you on the field with the fire and the intensity that you bring to them. And I think that's really going to be the key this year, as far as that defensive attitude, which I didn't get to see the South Doyle game, but I understand they were pretty dominant on that game.
Yeah, and I try to be, and that's my personality. So, I mean, I'm kind of low key outside of the white lines, but once I get out there, it's just like some flips of me, and a lot of these kids are seeing that, and, you know, and they kind of understand the expectation this time around is I'm going to yell at you, I'm going to scream at you, but it's coaching. It's not necessarily how I'm saying it, and, you know, and I mean Slayton and Nick, those guys, I'm on them harder than anybody, but they don't take it as, hey, coach don't like me, coach is on my butt every day, I can't stand this. They take it as, hey, he wants to win, I want to win, what do we got to do?
Yeah, let's get better.
And they're asking me questions like that last year, they didn't understand that, or hey, coach, they do this, what I'm doing. And like, as a coach, it makes you proud to see those guys growing and developing and becoming not just good football players, but leaders of the team and the whole 9 yards.
Well, Les Martin and Britt Allen is here at Eastside Pizza. We are with Coach Matt Price, the defensive coordinator, the brains of the outfit.
I don't know about that.
Well, on defense.
Yeah, well, I'll say
on defense. Do you expect more out of the defensive crew this year compared to last year? Since it's your second year, it's their second year, they know exactly what you're going to expect them to do. They seem to have more confidence in the position that they're playing. They probably are looking forward to getting it started, because last year there was quite a few times, Coach, and they got caught out of position, and that's the reason why they got beat on different plays, because they was out of position. A lot more confidence this year?
Yeah, a lot more confidence, and just as far as what we can and can't do with them, and as the coaches have knowing our players, what they can and can't do. And I felt last time as a coach, I was putting kids in situations that weren't the best for them. You know, and that's the thing, we look back at film and say, hey, this player can do this, so why would we put him there? Well, you know, now I know these guys better, and the thing about defense, and I do the weight room too, is I told them we've been practicing defense since last December, because the weight room is a direct reflection of defense. If you're big, strong, fast, and physical, and disciplined, you're going to have a good defense. I told them we all be able to run one front, one coverage, the whole game against every team and stop. And that's the mentality you got to take. And then also you got to take chances when you need to and mix it up and different things on the schemes. But if you have that mentality as far as, that's why I told Justin I want to do the weight room, because every day the way we do in the weight room is that's the mentality I want our team to have, and especially on defense. And offense, you got to have the mentality, but there's so much scheme and technique involved, and there's that on defense as well. But more importantly, that mental toughness that we've developed in the weight room. Now you're starting to see it in practice, and I think the line, as you know, as a linebacker coach, that's my group on the field when we're doing the division. I want them to be the leaders of that. I want them to be the ones that are saying, hey, we're the most mental tough guys on this team. We're not going to loaf. We go drill to drill. We run around. We hit people. We're doing the character in class and those types of things too.
Right. Coach, are you excited about the prospect of having better field position? You know, last year it seemed like their backs were against the wall every time you turned around. Do you feel any better this year about the possibility of having?
The kicking game's always tough. I mean, and I think sometimes when you don't have a soccer program and you had those kids that are booting them in the end zone, or they kind of place them where they want to, some of those things are out of our control. Now, we have freshman kickers got a little more control than we had last year, but yeah, if we can find a way to get teams that have to drive 80, 70 yards instead of 50 or 60, that's huge. And I appreciate our guys. It doesn't matter where they start. We got to get 3 plays and get them off. But at the same time, there's a mental thing there. Hey, I know they got to drive 80 yards. Even the offense coordinator's going to call it different if he's got to go 80, whether he's got to go 50. He can be a lot more aggressive if he's got 50 yards to go than 80. And, so I'm looking for, and that's one thing this offseason, a lot of time Coach Strancher, what are some ways that we can get these guys, especially on kickoff, kick it off where we can get, where they got to drive 70 yards, 75 yards instead of, 50 and 60, 40 yards. So if they're going to do that, we might as well kick an onside kick every time and take a chance on getting it.
Let me ask you a question. So far this year in spring practice and so far the beginning of August, who's probably the most surprised on defense for you? Or that's most impressive, that has improved the most?
I'm going to talk about a guy right now is Isaac Phillips. Just because last year he didn't play one snap on defense. And we were going to season, we lost Chris Hudson from last year. We looked at moving Ethan Miller to corner for some depth issues there. And we had Brandon back who'd been out. And, Isaac, we were trying him out in the spring as far as playing safety. And he's like, Coach, I've always played corner. And he's been the most, he's made a lot of mistakes, but as far as improvement from where he started to where he is now, it's just unbelievable. And, his attitude, he was a receiver last year, and, he's a big body, but he's real physical, and he's just found a way to kind of make tackles, be in the place at the right time. He's a long kid. Our 2 safeties, both of them 6'1", 6'2". They run well. They're both aggressive. And then, as far as the group-wise, like I said, I still want to, I know I coach them, but, our linebackers and even our D-line, it's just been a group just improvements at every, I can talk about every kid, all the way down the line, and all of them made improvements, but I feel like Isaac, though, he's kind of just where he's not played defense in a while, and to come over there, and he still's got that mentality, he's not scared to hit, he's aggressive, and he's willing, and he wants to learn, and he wants to be good.
Let me ask you a question. I'm going to put a little bit more pressure on you, okay? The district picked Campbell County 7th, and I know Campbell County turned in their survey. Where did you pick them?
Where did we pick?
Did you pick them or Coach
Price picked them? He picked them. He said top.
He said 9.
9 picked us 9.
He said 9, but I'm thinking he was joking. And you know what? He said last year they had y'all 9th. Y'all finished 7th. Brent and I were talking prior to you coming up. They got you picked 7th. Is that a motivator for you?
I wake every day with a chip on my shoulder. That's what I tell these guys. And there's coaches in this district that have said stuff that, about our program and about our coaches, about our players that, I don't care what they think about us, but I want to know because it motivates me. And that's something to dictate how I come to work every day. But when I do wake up in the morning, I know guys that don't think we can do it, that we're the same old this, same old that. That does motivate me. And like I want to tell them, we're not the old Campbell County anymore. And I played before the old Campbell County, and we're not that. These kids work too hard. They've invested too much. And, where we're going to finish, I don't know. But I know this: every time you play us, you're going to have to bring the ready game. And it's going to be one of those deals where we've invested so much. It means so much for these kids now to play football here. And, I just don't see how, me personally, we're not a middle-of-the-road district team. We're not a bottom of the basement team. Either we're at the top. And I feel like anytime anybody's going to win a district, it needs to come through us. And then when you start talking playoff time, we need to be in that mix every single year.
Well, they're giving me the signal to say players.
That's what it's all about. I want them up here talking.
This is what we've got to do. We've got to get that picture of that prediction of Campbell County being 7th, and we need to have it enlarged and have it put on the locker room wall.
Hey, I agree
Have
with
them
that.
smack it every time they go out.
Because that's what the coaches in this district think about us. I just don't
It's a
appreciate
respect
it.
thing.
Yeah, it is a respect thing. Coach, congratulations.
Appreciate
Good
y'all
luck
having
this
us
year.
up for everything.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Coach.